Hey, what's up guys, it's TBone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So we're now on to day 4 of the Save the Rainforest event, and I just wanted to say that we've already collected enough for the $75,000 donation mark. And so Network will be donating that money to the Rainforest Trust organization. And I just wanted to say congratulations for a great job well done. It's for charity, so I'm very happy that we were able to hit the mark. Now, what I want to do is there's a few things I want to talk about, and I do want to jump into a couple of fights right away. But I will be talking about a deck that I've built for this event, and also talk about the event cards. Finally, we're going to go into Guild Wars and talk about setting up your defenders for the upcoming season. So let's go into the fight right away. I'll talk about the deck I'm using, and this is the deck I wanted to feature. It's called a Free Water. Really, I'm using all free. One of the cards I spent 1,000 gems for, but everything else I received for free through the support card just by collecting it by playing. And that is using Bonata, which is a gem spawner. And we have Sarkasa, another gem spawner that will spawn just one gem for 3 turns without Maelstrom, right? With Maelstrom, it'll create more, but I don't actually need Maelstrom in this case. Bonata also creates over 3 turns, and then Freya will just create an extra turn for 1 turn, but it has a 3-turn cooldown, and it does depend on God intensity. But the start of the show is the Stag Harbor Brute, which is a turn delayer. So you can see it has a 20 gem charge rate, but it will slow the enemy for 2 turns. It's easy to farm. You can farm it at level 1-5. Now let's take a look at the relics here. So I am using all the relics I've collected in the past. So I'm using Mjolnir to power up Freya. And I did get lucky with 2 of the Tsunami Blade, and then the Storm Hammer for Sarkasa, and I brought in another North Pole to increase the Spirit intensity that helps power up Bonata. So let's just go in and do a fight right away, and I guess what we'll do is we will go ahead and hit Keta, and make sure I'm on the right team here. And the way to play this deck, now this is a completely free deck here, but you know what I'm gonna do is I want to show you how much damage I can deal. So right now we're at 11.9 billion. We can see how much we have after this. So the idea is to fill up the board with gems, with gem spawners that can spawn gems over time, so that you can continue to power up the Stag card. Okay, and sorry, I'm gonna have to pay a lot of attention here because the thing with this type of deck is you can build this with just completely free cards, but it also requires you to pay a lot of attention, which is the idea here. But so you'll see that I don't always necessarily can power up Stag because it has a 20 gem requirement, but because I have Bonata, I can count that I'm always going to have more gems every turn. And so what I want to do is to make sure that I take advantage of that. And then every time I see it powered up, I'm just going to go ahead and use a skill. And then what you'll do is Bonata and Freya will be powered up enough that you'll be able to power up. You'll be able to power him up every single turn. And so then at that point, you can just kind of keep adding up its, you can add up the turn delay for the boss. And then you wouldn't ever worry about your health or the fact that you have, gem silence or any of those skills, because it takes 2 turns before the boss will actually cast it, and you're completely in the clear. Now, the reason why I brought in these other relics as well is because I wanted to take advantage of the fact that I have, power gem spawners, just, passive relic spawners, and I can do some good damage from that. And right now, I need to focus a little bit. It's hard to do while I'm talking, but the way to play this is you want to really focus on just some quick matches. And the way you do quick matches is you want to do a match and then quickly match something off, so that you can cancel out the timer. The name of the game here is to really just make sure that you stop the clock as quickly as possible. And also, it's going to be beneficial for you not to fill up the entire board with gems. So you notice what I did was I actually didn't use Freya at that point because I just didn't need to fill up the board anymore. Instead, what I'm going to focus on now is to increase the timer of Keta. Okay, so if you see what I'm doing is I'm doing a quick power gem swap, and then I am stopping the timer, and I'm building the, you can see I'm building Keta's fight timer now up to 6. Okay, and let's see, and what I'm doing is, if you notice during the animation, I am also holding my thumb. I'm just depressing onto stage cards so that as soon as I can, I am using his battle skill. Okay, and then again, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to activate once. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and build up some power gems as well, because I know now that I have enough gems to power them all up. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and do another power gem swap. Okay, now with 40.43 seconds, I can actually do one more. And I don't need to worry about using Stage's powers anymore. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and just use Bonada one last time. And unfortunately, I couldn't do a power gem swap there. So then we'll just let that go. Now, let's see how much damage I was able to deal. We had 11.9 billion when we started, and we're now at 12.7. So I was able to deal close to 1 billion. And this is with me talking throughout the session. The name of the game here really is you want to, do quick swaps. Okay, so quick swap really is the name of the game when you're dealing with the type of deck that uses, turn delay. So this is really viable. Like, I mean, this is just, collecting the right cards and utilizing them at a time when it's available. And for me, you can get this deck. This cost 1,000 gems, a total of, for me, I got lucky here, so it's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I spent 5,000 gems over, several weeks, and so this is why I say that investing in relic is actually a lot better than just the cards themselves, because it's really the relic that makes the deck, right? So you can see that just with these power gems, I can deal close to 1 billion, and in the times I've tested, I dealt 1.2 billion twice, right? So I will say if I'm able to focus, I can deal that much damage. Now let's go and take a look at some of the other ways of playing, and that is using Aladdin. So this is where hopefully you have Aladdin from the previous the Golden Warrior event, where they feature Aladdin as one of the cards that you can get. And so what I have here is I have my Alexa deck. I'm using the Corrupt relic, and Aladdin is my healer, and also because it is a dual commander and slayer, it also really helped out. And then I'm using Lita, who actually will dispel gem silence, as well as do a create a power gem 3. So let's see, now we're at 8 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick fight here just to show you. And what I'll do is I'm gonna go into a new Keta here, I believe. Do I have any? Okay, so let's see how much damage I can do here. And again, this is with a passive heal. It's actually a lot easier because I don't have to worry about doing any other matches other than just doing a quick swap. And again, this is about building up intensity as fast as possible. So the goal is always to try and end your turn in about 0.2 seconds or so, if you can, or 0.2 to 0.4 seconds. It's really hard to do more than that. But especially right now I'm talking, so I'm going to try and do this. I'm also going to try to do this without... I'm also hoping that because this is an Alexa deck, that it will actually activate. One of the problems with this deck is there is a 30% chance for the skill to activate, and it may not actually activate. So there's always that chance. So right now what I'm doing is I'm building my intensity to about 300. Okay, so with this deck, what I calculate is 350 is really the ideal, but at starting about 300 is when you're gonna see me like really starting to match the light gems. We're at 225 right now, and just a couple more turns and I'll be ready to go. And for me, using Aladdin, there's another tip and trick here. So what I do is when the boss timer is at 2, I know that it's not going to attack yet, so I don't actually bother matching the light gems, because when it attacks, Aladdin will give me double the number of light gems if I'm less than 100% health, right? So now the boss is actually hitting me hard enough that I don't heal 100%. And so I will get 2 power gems instead of 1 in that situation. So now you can see it's activated. I'm going to get hit. I'm going to use Aladdin. So you'll see I'm going to get 2 power gems instead of 1. So it just gives you a little bit of an edge, right? So then what I can do is, you notice that I also upgraded my Power Gem 3 to a Power Gem 4, so that allows me to do a power gem swap of 2 Power Gem 4s, which gives me a lot more damage than just regular power gem. That's the best way to increase your damage anyways. And then so after this is done, there's a 7-turn cooldown, which again take advantage of the quick swaps to try and unfortunately it activated when I can't use it yet, but it's okay. So I think I lost count. I think I was on turn 5 there. Let's see. And I just activated it. Do I have it? I don't know if I'm 1 turn too early. Yeah, I'm 1 turn too early. So that's unfortunate. What I really wanted to do was make sure that it activates when it's available, and I believe it is now available. Yep. So again, I'm just going to do the same thing here. Okay, and this should be my last attack. So I was able to deal, do 2 attacks in this fight. So I'm really happy I didn't end up ending the match without actually being able to do anything here. So that's good. Okay, so then with that, let's see how much damage we're able to deal. So Alexa was being nice to me for the video, so I'm very happy about that. And with that, it's 22 billion. So what I'm showing here is, yes, there are decks that are really powerful, and if you're lucky, if you spend the gems, you can get it. But ultimately, what I'm trying to say here is, I don't really what I'm not trying to advertise is, hey, every single event that comes out, you should go and buy the full deck. I think the thing is really kind of find a deck that fits your playstyle, and if it's something that is within, for me, I got Alexa because the ultra rare card was a guarantee at tier 6. I had enough gems and I was willing to spend for it, and I didn't get the ultra rare card. I didn't get it times 13, but it made it work, right? And also I think I didn't spend any gems so far in the last few events now. And if you're free to play, there is decks like this that will work for you, and so I'm hoping that this helps. Okay, I wasn't able to find a good Earth deck to work here, but this one actually can deal good enough damage to take out the guild bosses, so I'm hoping this worked for you. Now, before we go, I wanted to talk about the defenders for Guild Wars. So, when you're setting defenders for Guild Wars, the thing is, if you're up against really high level guilds or people with really good decks, it doesn't really matter what you have. I mean, like I'm at power 37,000 right now, and that's like, just barely in the middle of the pack, and I easily get taken out all the time, right? So if anybody has a Gladia deck, Tyra deck, or any of the more recent decks, then I don't think it really matters. But the fact is, not everybody has it, and so you might still be able to survive. And so what are some of the good cards to use? Now, I think that cards that you can see here, just looking at the screens here, it gives you a preview as to what defense they have. So you can see I have my Vulcan, which has Alacrity, and then I have also my Monarch Ubu, which has Chaos. And then I have Gem Silence, and there's another one, Flatline, which I don't actually have any 6 stars for. So those are the 4 typical defense that you're looking at. And I would say the most common is Alacrity. That is the most common one that most people still run. And so if you have a good Alacrity defender, you should use that. Now, I haven't really found a good use, or at least I haven't found it effective yet, using Monarch Ubu, which has Chaos. What Chaos does is, after you get attacked by Chaos, it will just flip the board and erase all of your power gems, but it doesn't get rid of the battle skills. So if you have a deck that generates gems, such as the Domi deck, Chaos does nothing. Right, so Chaos is not really something that helps. Alacrity also doesn't work against the Domi deck. The only thing that really works then is the Gem Silence deck, right? So Gem Silence, so I have Bat Sector, Bat Santa is also a Gem Silence. I think Chimeras is another Gem Silence warden. So those are more of your typical ones. And if you can get your defense high enough, around 10.2, 10.5 thousand or so, then flatline works well, because then your defense is going to be powerful enough to take out your opponent. And if they bring in a Phoenix, then it wouldn't actually do them any good. So for me, right now, I'm still using my my Vulcan as the leader, but I'm slowly switching out to a light deck. So I'm looking forward to having a light defense. I do have the Bone Collector at 5-star right now, so Bone Collector is the one that has a flat line. And once I have it high enough, then I plan to use that as my elite. So let's go ahead and go take a look at the Warden here, and also for light. You can see it's not really impressive, but right now I'm hoping to get this up and going. And then so once I have my light defenders high enough, then I'm going to start switching out my hammers. You can see right now I have all hammers. I'm going to start switching my hammers to light mauls. Okay, so that's my strategy. That's my plan. Hopefully this is something that gives you an idea, and hopefully it works for you. So I'm hoping that the next season is good for you, and also let me know if you have any ideas. I'm just going to sign off by saying that I am actually really happy with the changes they made to the guild leagues. Splitting it into smaller groups, lots of groups, but each of them being smaller, both gives us a more competitive spirit and also gives us more rewards. So I'm really happy about that. So I'm looking forward to more changes like that, and hopefully they'll continue down this path. Anyways, so this is the video for today. Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, I think that this particular deck, I don't think I was very clear in the last episode. Powerful, but not my style. I didn't spin on it, and I hope that they can come up with a deck that'll be easier to use, that's actually going to be worth your gems if you decide to invest in it. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to sign off for today. So thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you next time.